Okay. Pokemon. Pokemon. Okay, here we go. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. I choose you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. I choose you. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. You got it. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. You got it. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. I choose you. I choose you. You got it. I choose you. Gotta catch 'em all. I choose you. I choose you. You got it. I choose you. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. There's Pokemon. Pokemon. Use race. Pokemon. There's Pokemon. Pokemon. Use race. Pokemon. Let's Pokemon. Pokemon. Let's Pokemon. 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 Gotta catch 'em all. You got it. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. I choose you. Okay, we found Pokemon. Pokemon. You got it. I choose you. Okay, we found Pokemon. Pokemon. You got it. I choose you. I choose you. You got it. I choose you. Gotta catch 'em all. I choose you. I choose you. You got it. I choose you. Gotta catch 'em all. Let's go. Pokemon. There's Pokemon. Pokemon. Use race. Pokemon. There's Pokemon. Pokemon. Use race. Pokemon. Let's Pokemon. Pokemon. Let's Pokemon. 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 Gotta catch 'em all. You got it. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
Well, hello. Excuse me. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, for those who have a hard of hearing and maybe are stuck in the first grade, or Dara for short, for those who just don't want to do that whole thing. It just tosses aside. But anyway, welcome, of course, and to my guest. Hello, good sir.
Why, hello there, and thank you so very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, I'm ready to chat.
Yeah. Are you the Van Helsing character? I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Hillsing Ultimate is it's up there. It's for me. It's either the top one or the top three of all time.
Oh,
So
top three.
yeah,
What's the
it's
other
really
two?
good. That rotates a bit, but if I had to really sit down and choose,
Mhm.
I know that one of them is probably going to be the most normie answer, but I'd have to say One Piece because One Piece is One
Yeah.
Piece.
Yeah, One Piece, of course, is One Piece. Yeah.
And then,
I
then
wouldn't
the
call it
other,
normie though. Yeah.
I think the other I would have to choose FIREBRAND. I've rewatched
Mm,
that about 5 times now since it came out, and
nice.
it's as good the fifth time around as it was the first time. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, I saw some people say it was, the story, and then you have the animation of it. It looks pretty well. I haven't seen it myself because the place I would go to see it is no longer there. So,
I can help you with that. Just remember,
even
everybody, if you are going to watch your anime on sites that are, please be sure to use protection.
well, it's not technically their fault. I mean, they were kind of gone after by the companies themselves. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's when your numbers up, it's time to start either closing down shop or something else. And not many of them want to deal with lawsuits, which can cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um,
Way too much.
yeah, way too much. In fact, yeah, because it gets ridiculous. But no, I've never seen the anime itself, but I did see the Ultimate Hellsing Ultimate, but it was not the original. It was
No, it's because the original was being done while the manga was still being produced, so it's half manga and it's half whatever it is they chose to do.
yeah,
And they were going to go somewhere with it, but it got canceled.
yeah,
So Ultimate is the manga.
yeah. No, I was meaning DBZ, the Team 4 Star.
Oh, Team
And
Four
then
Star.
yeah, when I did there, yeah,
Oh, I love Team Four Star. They make me laugh so much, and yeah, they're the abridged version is pretty much the regular version, just taken to the nth degree
yep.
and maxing out the laughs.
Yes, Takahata is the one who does the voice for Van Helsing, and he just goes balls to the wall for that character, and I'm just like, jeez, because he goes
Yes,
harsh.
yes, he does, and it's funny. It is really funny.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's funny thing because it was through their thing with Dragon Ball, obviously another well known one, a contender with One Piece and all that. That I sort of saw that, and then I kind of went through that process, like seeing they had the Helsing abridged, and it was kind of understandable in the way why they kind of didn't keep doing Dragon Ball because the Japanese do not have what we have as fair use. So they see you using their product, they're gonna say no. So I think there was like some guy who was very fair use with like Dragon Ball, something like that. I can't remember his name, but Toei came after him, and he was just pretty much wiped clean off of YouTube.
Oh, I remember that.
You know,
It's been a while.
yeah, and that was quite some time ago. But I don't remember if he got his stuff back or not. But I do think you have an ocean. You have an ocean, right? You have an ocean, and then the translation in between, and the rules are different in between. So what we as some, not all, because some people say this is fair use, and that's probably not it. But we have a thing called fair use in the United States. Japanese do not have that. They probably have some strict laws on speaking and all that stuff, but they do not have what we are known as free speech, free use, or fair use, and all those things included. And yeah, so some people do get. It's funny because I was streaming, was doing my pay it forward stream, which I do on Fridays, and I came across someone who was just watching, OPs, opening songs and all that stuff.
Hmm.
And I was, hey, whore, I was coming across it, and oops, let me change that 1 second. I was coming across their stream, and once my stream was over, because I do stream to both YouTube and Rumble, I got dinged by YouTube for one of those.
Yeah, you really when it goes right down to it, YouTube is asshole when it goes to having fun and fair use.
Draconic.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And I've been dealing with them for what, I'm in my fourth year now doing this, and
Uh,
yeah, some things we can get away with, some things we can't. And on the
mm.
things that we can't get away with anymore, that's where we go to Rumble and we make it Rumble exclusive at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's it's a pretty just in the content creator sphere, alone. There's so many platforms out there now that while it's understandable why people stick with YouTube, just sticking with one platform is certain death for content creators. Uh,
Yeah, you got a multi-platform,
mm,
multi-stream, multi-everything these days. And yeah, I've let's see, I've been doing the Rumble thing besides the YouTube part for what, 2 years? Yeah, about 2 years now. And
hmm,
it is amazing how each of them work and behave,
yeah,
and how easy a Rumble is to work with certain things, especially with fair use.
yeah,
As an example, it is fair use to watch a show while commentating at the same time. You
yeah,
try it on YouTube, and they'll stick a hot poker in you. But if you do it on a Rumble, as long as you just say, this is what we're doing, yeah,
yeah.
it's not a problem because they understand it, and they're willing to go to bat for it at the moment. So I'm hoping that it stays that way. But each platform has its strengths and weaknesses. It's just a matter of which strength and weakness you're willing to live with, and which ones you're not.
Yeah, and that's where multi-platforming oneself is going to be the strength of content creators, which again, I get why a majority of people just stick with YouTube and or Twitch because they offer services that the other platforms just don't have. Or you see like maybe a clone of like Kick is a
Yeah.
clone of Twitch, and then of course that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day though, a smart man once said all eggs in one basket. Let's see, what's a good one here? All eggs, no basket is a dull boy, and all that sort of stuff. I know that was a bad
Yeah. Well,
analogy.
that's all right. I've got one. Confucius say, baseball wrong. Man with 4 balls cannot walk. Yeah, that's a good one.
Batter up. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. But hey, Lady Pie, how are you? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, and again I understand the issue and concerns and stuff. Like I do. I've been understandable the frustration, but at the end of the day, um, it's not. It doesn't have the same resources as say like YouTube, Google has because that's far reaching on us on a global scale. Um,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, it's about more of what you're needing rather than what the platform needs. Because at the end of the day, I get tired of hearing these stories of people who get fully banned or demonetized off YouTube, and they have to go to Twitter X to kind of get help, and that usually not helpful because you get some AI responding to you. And it's just like, guys, if you're gonna be on one platform, you're gonna have to be beat up with it. But if you're on multiple platforms, they can't do much to you. It's sort of like you sort of like you see with the thing with Twitch, right? What they did someone earlier who got banned because I guess they ran a red light or something, and they got
Mhm.
back 24 hours later.
Yeah, Twitch is special.
Oh
Uh,
goodness.
my whole opinion on all that, yeah. Find the home, have a second home, get it all arranged for how you want to do things. Try to keep things somewhat separate, but yeah, Twitch and Kick are basically the same as far as how they work, except Twitch is way more interactive.
Yeah.
They've got that part down. Although I will say their video quality, until they actually get the one of the newer encoders working for everyone, their video quality sucks.
Mm.
It's not good. It just can't do it. Whereas YouTube can do it, but you got to deal with certain YouTube rules. Although Twitch is just as bad, and
Yeah.
Rumble is getting better, but
Still behind.
they do have the better emojis, the actual motion emojis, but
Yeah.
they still don't have the part where it can send data back to the streaming software so that way you can so that way you can do certain things with it, or at least through most of them. Rumble Studio is another story, but
Yeah. You're talking about the broadcasting software like StreamYard and stuff like that.
yeah, it doesn't talk back as much as it could, and
Right.
they're getting there. It's just a matter of time,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just one of those things, the tech hurdle that they gotta figure out, get over, especially since they probably don't want to pay for licensing to use someone else's already existing system. That would just be dumb. Develop your own.
Yeah, and that's going to be another issue right there because developing your own takes time and resources, which I think, especially when you're coming from the YouTube side, I think people kind of tend to not realize how much it costs to run things, right? Like you see,
Yeah.
you and I, we see this free thing. We run our, you have OBS or whatever. If you're using a like StreamYard or Restream, whatever, you kind of have to pay. But you see something like, use OBS and you stream these places and it's free for us, right?
Hmm.
Well, those kind of things cost into the thousands to millions of dollars
Well, they
for
can.
yeah, they can. I mean, obviously, but you're talking about multiple levels of this stuff. You're talking about the
Hmm.
people, the developers, you're talking about your coders, you're talking about sheesh, all the people that are customer service if YouTube has one. Um or just a whole bunch of things. Bandwidth, you're talking data storage, you're talking whole bunch of stuff, and that sort of stuff start piling up. And I can't imagine the amount of what it costs YouTube to at this point, probably in the billions, with all the videos. I think like it's like millions of videos uploaded every day. That's like, jeez.
Yeah, the cost of doing business definitely is high, and that's why it's so hard, such a high barrier for entry. But
Yeah,
it's just a matter of prioritizing what you need to make it work, and they get there. And
yeah.
yeah, it's getting better, and we've got more choices than we've had in a long time. And of
Oh
course, you've
yeah,
always got your off sites, but yeah,
yeah.
Rumble's good, YouTube's good, Twitch can be good as long as you're not being an e-thought or other, and don't talk parlor tricks on there, because even if you talk the right parlor tricks, they if they get a bug up their ass about something, they'll pull you.
Yeah, that's the embodiment of relying. So that's another thing too, is you're you're relying on the people who are on the back end.
Hmm.
You're relying them to keep their end of the bargain of this whole ordeal, right? Because there's
Yep.
your side of the bargain and it's their side of the bargain, right? Oh, look at all these rules that you've created, right? The TOS rules. We know that, as far as I've seen, no platform follows their own rules to the degree we think they should.
No,
Um,
they don't. They
yeah,
they obviously play favorites, and we've seen them when they play favorites,
mm,
like one commie prick, Piker, over on Twitch.
right. Yep.
And then if they really don't like you, they'll find any way to get you kicked off, like the doc, or whatever MX plays on YouTube. Though
Sorry. Yep.
yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, having multiple places, great idea. Doing multiple different things, having certain things being done in certain places, it doesn't hurt to it does not hurt to have yourself spread out, but also not too far. I've
Yeah.
This year I tried to endeavor on doing more content that I've done.
Yeah.
But since I'm not a full-time YouTuber or a full-time content creator, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to try and do stuff on 4 platforms, and I just don't have the time to do that. So I've
Yep.
had to scale back the operation again. But the biggest thing that I can say is just, find what you like to talk about, have
Mm,
fun while doing it. Don't
mm,
take things too seriously.
mm.
Poke fun at commies when you need to, and yeah, we're in good shape.
Just get a very big stick and just poke them. Yeah,
Exactly.
no, no, yeah. That's why I only do the two platforms, because you only have so much mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
If especially if you have a full time job, which I do, you only have
Mhm.
so much mental bandwidth before you're like, I can't do anything anymore. And I've talked to people who are doing like 8 to 9 platforms. I'm like, how the hell are you able to do this?
If that's all they do, I guess it depends upon if you hit the economics of scale right. Let me give you an example.
mm,
I've got a bud of mine. He's been streaming, I think, for about 4 years now.
right.
He's almost to 100,000 on YouTube and several thousand on Rumble.
Mm,
About a year ago, his economic of scale got to the point where he could start making more
mm,
with doing full-time content creation. So he took the leap of faith, and it's worked for him. Worked
nice.
very well for him. But you have to have certain personality types and certain abilities. Some people are really good at it. Some people enjoy doing it. Some people do it for the shits and giggles. Some people
Yeah.
do it as a true full-on profession.
Mm, yeah.
It's that it factor is always the hardest part to gauge and to try and get. And
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. I've done pretty well for just a
Nice.
part-time YouTuber that just likes to talk anime and play games every now and then. I'm doing all right. But
Yeah.
it's if you want to make a real true go at it, it's hard. It really is hard. And it's once you make it, though, if you can get it, if you can get to that scale, you're good. It's just getting to that scale is tough.
Yeah, I think everyone experiences each platform differently. Some will do better on YouTube, some do better on
Yeah.
Twitch, some do better on Rumble, and then you'll have the opposite effect where many won't do great on YouTube, many won't do great on Twitch, and many won't do great on Rumble. But at the end of it all, I think people should just, like you were saying, just enjoy making content at the expense of just enjoying it, because I think a lot
Yeah.
of people get that bug that they see another content creator who's making big moolah and they want to be that. I mean, I've seen it many times before. You've heard it many times before.
It's so bloody hard, and it's not very fun. It's not fun to try and be like somebody else. Mainly
Yeah.
because if you were somebody else, then you wouldn't be you.
Yeah.
So,
Which
so
is
yeah,
the tongue twister. Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult. There's no question about that. But yeah, you have to go into the whole content creation thing for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And to me, at least for me,
Hmm.
it was it's partially a creative outlet, and it
Right.
also allows me to explore a passion that I hadn't been able to really get into for a very long time. And I know, at least in the group or the sphere that I used to run in pretty heavily, nobody
Yeah.
else was doing anime, and in that group, nobody else still is.
Yeah.
But I've also expanded and changed a bit as far as who I hang out with, what I choose to process, and everything else, and it works out all right.
Yeah, yeah, that's great because for me when I did it, I was doing pre-recorded stuff. I've said this much time. It's like I used like StreamYard's ability to record videos, because I couldn't stream to Rumble at the time because at the time you still had to do like the five follower thing. Um, and so I was just doing pre-recorded videos and I would upload it to both ends, both Rumble and YouTube. And then when I finally got like OBS or whatever, because I finally broke down and just bought the pro plan, which was like $10 a month,
Yeah,
which is their premium now. But so I bought that and I was just like, there's OBS that's free, all that stuff. And I was just using that. OBS is great for people who are very tech detailed sort of thing. But for me, it was like I have to download a plugin when it's not, if you want to do multiple streams, you have to download a plugin on OBS instead of it just being there, which is kind of silly, but that's what it is. And I had difficulties with that too. Sometimes things happen, it's just what it is. But then once Rumble brought Rumble Studio, I was there at the beta when you were signing up for the wait list. And yeah, I've been with it ever since, ups and downs and all this stuff. I mean, there's been a lot, but at the end of the day, though, um, I was doing the gaming thing, trying to stream gaming, but I was like, what am I gonna do with this, right? Because I had always thought about wanting to try it, and I was like, okay. So I finally, at one point, I already had a camera, uh, not a great camera, like this one autofocuses and whatnot. Thank you.
yeah.
And my other one didn't autofocus. It wasn't great when there wasn't like this. I have a light right here, which I bought is Logitech, a little like thing which I like.
Little key light. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the camera I have is a Brio 500, which I again, Logitech. Um, but that's an overtime thing. I just wanted to try something, but it wasn't until I hit on the conversational matter that's where things started to click because it wasn't something I saw very much of anywhere. Like, I mean, you have podcasts and stuff, but you really didn't have people who were just talking to other people, whether they were a creator or not. Because you do have, from my perspective that I've seen, you do have a lot of creators who do invite people on who either within their niche. Hey, Toasty. Oops,
Hey,
I,
Toasty.
I pressed the wrong thing. Hey, Toasty. Oops, there you go. But yeah, you won't be. It won't go out too. I got it. Um, let's see, Brandon. There we go, and paste. There we go. Um, but yeah, I just didn't see it from other content creators because usually they have, they build their circle of people they like having on, they trust having on, all that stuff, and then they would either bring on people who were within their niche, or or somebody who could elevate their status in a way, right? Like you, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, though, it was very constrictive because it was people who were only talking within a certain field. I've gone pretty much almost anywhere. I've talked to people who are creators and who aren't creators, because not you, but you have these content creators who would have thousands upon thousands of followers. My thought was, well, have they ever asked one of their followers to come on the show? Since they invite people on and stuff, not in that way, but other content
Yeah.
creators. And I was like, I don't really see that because it just didn't, for me it just didn't make sense. Like, you have a thousands upon thousands of followers, and sure, you may do meetups and conventions and stuff, but when have you ever asked one of your followers to come on as a guest to your show? And I was like, that seems weird that you could have all that and still have none of it, if that makes sense. And so I was like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, everybody has their own way of doing things, and I do know that for some of them they do, they do have members only streams and do that type of thing. But it just depends. It really just depends upon the person and the group they're in, because some groups are a little better about it and other groups are not. So it just
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah, and I get what I do is a risk to them, because you invite somebody you don't know on, and that carries, it carries its whole thing. But there's so many people out there. It just feels like I'm the crazy person in the the asylum, because I've talked to people who don't aren't considered content creators or content creators at all. I've talked to other VTubers. I've talked to people who are current or former military. I've talked to people who just you wouldn't know unless you had a conversation with them. And I felt like that was something that's kind of missing from the current sort of thing, because we're all talking about the entertainment industry or the politics or so on and so forth. But that's really just not much of a conversation of starting from nowhere and going somewhere, at
Hmm.
least from the people I followed. I can't say for everything because I'm not everywhere, right? I am human, but that'd be a weird story to tell. But it was just a sort of thing. So like, I asked people to come on, whether content creator or not. Some people have been followers of others. Some people don't even show their face, and it's been some. There have been some challenges, but there have also been more fun times than that. It's unimaginable who you don't know, and you can bring people on, and the technology allows us to do this. It allows us to connect from so far away. I've talked to people from Australia, talked to people from I actually had one guy from Norway. That was something. uh,
Yeah.
and what else? Australia, the UK, German. I've had a Scottish guy on. I've had so many different people on, and yes, a big chunk of them are content creators, and some aren't. And it's just it, a conversation can be a very powerful thing if allowed to be. It's just if people are willing to take up that opportunity to do so. And that's always another thing too, is the scheduling matter. But I digress. That was what led me to doing this sort of thing, and I've not looked back down. I mean, at this point I've had over 190 different guests at this
Wow,
point.
it's quite a bit.
Yeah, but it goes to show you that there are people there that are willing to have a conversation, or maybe they're not sure. And I've heard that a few times where like, I'm anxiety ridden, I don't want to show my face, whatever, and that's fine. But given an opportunity, you could have a really great conversation with someone, and they may have never felt that way at all, right? Or anxiety or whatever. And it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating when you just let it be what it is and see where it goes. And that's what's been very, very joyous about this. And thank you, Nero. But yeah, I mean, for your end of things, because you've been doing. Well, actually, I wanted to know first off, how did you meet Clifton?
Oh, let's see. How did I meet him? Let's see. With Clifton, if I remember correctly, he just showed up in and I want to say just one of the streams one day and got chit chatting, and oh crap, it's been so long now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been about 2 years, 2.5 years
Wow.
now.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he he was doing some editing. He showed me some of it, and I was like, okay, I do need an editor.
Hmm.
And I've helped him with a few things. Got him some equipment, and fortunately, shipping from the states to Deutschland can be a royal pain in the arse.
Yep. Yep.
So I gotta. So I've done that with him, and he he co-pilots with me on Saturday, and we have fun. And I've
Yeah.
had a few Saturdays I've had to be gone, and he's been able to run it, and
Nice.
he does his thing, and yeah, it's it's hard to believe it's already been that long. It doesn't feel like it. But yeah.
It's fascinating when you like. There was a long while ago. Uh, my I have a sibling and her, you know partner. They live in near Cincinnati, and there's a theater there. with theaters, but it's a theater there where you can. Uh, it's a bit expensive on the ticket wise, but you can go in and you can sit down and you can order like a gourmet type of meal to go with your movie, right? It's called Cinebistro, and you they well, so what happens is you get your ticket, and the ticket I went to get was like $15, and so because they, I mean, it's only for 21 and over. There are no kids allowed in there, so it's
Yeah,
perfect.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. I've heard of them where I live. There's nothing even remotely like that. This is not the place for that, but I
Yeah.
have heard of places like that, and it does sound like a lot of fun. It definitely gives the cinema going experience something a little extra.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I dropped over $70 on the food. I was
Holy
like, if I'm
crap!
gonna, yeah, I was like, if I'm gonna be here once, I might as well do it. So I was like, mashed potatoes. I got like, so what happens? Like I got mashed potatoes. I got like shrimp and stuff. And I think I got like a lava cake or something like that. So they brought out this mashed potatoes in like this copper tub thing. It was like this big. It wasn't very big at all, and it was like had like little chives on it or whatnot. And then of course there was did shrimp as well. Like I think I did like a popcorn shrimp or something like that. And then you can order a drink as well. So how it works is you get your ticket for the movie. So you try to show up like 15-20 minutes before. And
Yep.
then once you get into your seat, they have a waiter come in, and they come in and take your order. They give you a menu, obviously, but they come in and take your order or whatever you have. And they do serve alcohol because it is 21 and over. So you
Yeah.
do have that. And once that's done, once your order is done, you do have to go out. There's a little area outside that you have to go out to if you want to get a refill or stuff like that, because again, they're not going to do it while the movie's going. So there's that.
Yeah.
But the movie starts, and I think like maybe 10-15 minutes in, you get your uh I can't remember, again, I can't remember what else I got, but you get your food during the movie. And I was like, I spent so much money, but I was like, it was so worth it. It was so worth it. But the movie was actually, and I had to look it up. The movie was, hold on, I took a picture of the ticket if I could find it. There it is. Oops. So here you go. Here you go. This is the ticket right here. I saw it with, oops, there you go. I saw it with
Okay.
this. I saw it 8 years ago. It's
Wow.
Guardians 2 at 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday. And it was like 14. It looks like it's $14. Yeah, $14. But it was the second Guardians of the Galaxy movies when I went to go see that. And I had kept the stub ever since, even though I have a security box at a bank that I put it in. But it was like 8 years ago. I was like, I can't believe I still remember that.
Well, something like that's unique. It's more, going to the cinemas. If the movie theaters are going to survive, especially
Yeah.
with as bad as they pretty much all are, they're
Mhm.
going to have to do special caterings. The ones that do special caterings like that, they'll probably survive. The
Yeah.
ones that serve, trash popcorn, trash everything else, and then charge, 15, $16 for a regular ticket. Yeah, they're gonna go. I'm looking at you, AMC.
Well,
Yeah,
I do go to an AMC near me, but they yeah, at concession
just no
prices.
fun.
And the funny thing is that the theater that is near me that they took over was a theater before, but it's a theater that was used previously by the theater that started that building, right? And so
Ah,
AMC just took over the building and used it for their own thing. And you can see the signs of it, you know, when are they gonna fix things and stuff like that? They're just gonna use it until it's
it
done.
needs renovation, but they won't do it. I hate
Yeah,
that. That drives.
yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. But
Th There are
yeah.
more urinals closed than there are open. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, remember that you gotta have your space. So
Yeah. Well, when there are only 2 open, you're like,
yeah, that makes it tough.
I'm just like, you're waiting until all of them are closed, and then you're telling people, "Well, maybe you should go to the bathroom. Go home and go to the bathroom." It's like, "I'm here at my movie." Hold it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that. But there is there where I'm at, there is a IMAX theater that sort of does something similar. You can order your food at their place. They have like pizza and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
they'll bring the food into you during when the movie's going. So there is that, but yeah, you're not wrong in the sense they have to give a little something extra because I believe movie theaters survive by the concessions rather than the movie tickets, unless the movie stays longer, as far as I
Yeah.
remember.
And with the way things are currently, you're lucky to have a movie stay there for 30 days before it gets dropped on video on demand. Yeah, concessions is where they have to make it up, and it gets expensive. But if you like the place you're going to, and I prefer where I'm at, I've got more locally owned,
Nice,
smaller cinemas that they've put money into them, updated their screens, updated their sound, updated their seating,
nice,
and yeah, they don't charge an arm and a leg for a new movie, but they do have the best popcorn, they've got the best drink, and
nice.
you know, I can have a Nathan's hot dog or a pizza.
Right. Well, and yeah, because that's part of the ordeal. Because there aren't many left, but there are still drive-in movie theaters out there. I know the one that I went to, not near me, very far away. They do check you before you go in. So if
Hmm.
you do have food of your own, they do kind of charge you for that, right?
Yeah.
Mm. But I mean, it's the probably the only experience you get to have where you get to see a bunch of different movies for the price of one, basically. Because there's a
Oh
movie over
yeah.
here and over here
I
behind you.
I remember the drive-in. We haven't had one where I live for a long time, but
Mm.
then they made a comeback there for a while during the Coof years, and now it's like, yeah, why would you go to? Why would you go when when most of the movies being released are so bad?
Yeah.
But
Well,
you know,
that and you're outside too, so if it storms, I mean,
yeah,
you
you have to
can't.
deal with that.
Yeah, it is what it is. But no, I can understand on the not any good movies, but I think that's more preferential because that's the thing where you have a lot of people are say this movie is bad, but then someone can go see it and they enjoyed that movie. So it's very particular because I've seen uh movies where someone has or some content creator who does movie reviews when I said this movie is bad or not that great, and I go see it and I enjoyed it. But there is that numbers game where they do, you do have to have the money to supplement the getting keep that movie there or even justifying the budget spent for making whatever movie and how much
Yeah,
money spent.
yeah. The Hollywood system is broken, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next 10 years, especially with the rise of artificial intelligence
Yeah.
and it's how much better it already has got
Hmm.
at making movies or that
Hmm.
based upon just a text input. It's crazy, but that's why I do anime because no matter what I do, there's always something that I can watch.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Good or bad, because there is some fast food anime out there.
Oh yeah, there's when it goes to anime, there's the great stuff, and then you have your how can I put it? What's the term that's used? It's
Redo of Healer.
redo is actually really good. It's just depending upon the version that you watch, yeah, it gets it skirts that line.
Yeah.
It likes to skirt the line. That's
Yeah.
definitely very true. But you know, there's like with everything, you've got your stuff that's your filet mignon. Then you have your
Mm.
stuff that's McDonald's. We
Yeah.
love them both.
Yeah.
One's better for you, but
Yeah.
we can afford to eat the other one a
Yeah.
lot more. And there is a ton of anime trash. There really is, but
Yeah.
a lot of it's fun and good for a one time through. I have noticed since I got back into really heavy into anime and into current season anime,
Mm.
almost every season I'm starting
Mm.
with like 25, 26 shows.
Wow.
that have potential. And we're
Mm.
not even talking the movies. We're not talking
Yeah.
any of the shorter series that get made, or addendums, if you will, for
Mm.
seasonal shows. But yeah, just looking at my list for this season, yeah, there's 28 shows on the list. About
Mm.
24 of them that I can actually start. The other four are returning seasons for shows that I haven't seen yet. But if I do
Oh.
see, then I count it. But it's it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Uh,
I'm never disappointed. There's always something good. I can't remember a season where everything that came out was just so terrible that I
mm.
couldn't watch it.
Yeah. No, yeah, and again, that's almost that's still a preferential a bit because one person can like one anime over another, or you have differences of taste, whatnot. The filet mignon to the McChicken, which has been a while. I think I haven't had McDonald's in a while. I think it's probably the fries, but I do like a good hamburger and McChicken
Hmm.
for the death of me. But I don't go there very often because it doesn't do well with me. So it's like once in the blue moon sort of deal. It's like curses. Um,
Exactly.
but no, I kind of understand. Now, have you gone and see the ones that have like the movie ones that have come out theaters? Like I think the Dragon Ball ones, and then there's the Demon Slayer ones I know of, and all this stuff. Oh, and Ghibli. Ghibli still comes out in the theaters
Yeah.
once a year.
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli stuff is a lot of fun to go see, and I'm glad that Fathom Events, that they put out most of the Studio Ghibli films at least once a year for
Hmm.
3 days, or for three
Yeah,
screenings during the week.
yeah.
They're definitely worth your time. Most of the
Hmm.
others I haven't gone to see. The only one that I've gone to see in the cinemas was One Piece film Red, and I
Mm,
that was the first thing of One Piece I had ever seen, so I knew nothing. And I
right.
was going into it full cold turkey. Now
Mm,
that I've seen 440 or so episodes, I have an idea of what's going on, but
right.
I'm still not fully up to where that was at. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Some things are easier to get into. Some things have been going forever.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah.
biggest thing is just picking something and giving it a try, and see if you like it. And if you do, great. If you don't, that's fine. There's
Yeah.
nothing that says you have to keep watching a show if it sucks.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the ability to see these shows are very limited because of monopoly and stuff. Because especially, well, I mean, you had at a point you had Funimation and Crunchyroll, and now it's just Crunchyroll at this. Well,
Well,
High
there
Dive.
is High Dive.
Yeah, I
So
can't pronounce that.
Crunchyroll, High Dive, Shitflix, Scamazon. Netflix drives me completely batshit crazy,
Right.
completely crazy. But those are pretty much the four places that are putting stuff out, or they're getting the license for it. And some of them are original for them specifically,
Hmm.
and others not so much. But yeah, this season has been, it's been an interesting bag so far. I've only gone through 9. I still have 2/3 of it that I got to do at least the first 2 episodes to see if I'm going to keep it or not. But I do have a bunch of stuff on the back catalog that I want to get to, but it's so hard when there's so much good stuff. It really does make it hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, what was the last one I saw? Um, when they had renewed the when I don't know if it's called, I don't know if it's a renewed or a remake, but when they had redone the Spice and Wolf, that was when I was trying to watch.
Ah, yes. I
Mm,
really did enjoy I really did enjoy Spice and Wolf. I halfway through that season, I still got to finish it, but what
yeah,
was there was really good. I did enjoy it.
I was surprised that they still brought the VAs back for both the Japanese and English. Both came back
Well,
that were from the original
it hadn't
animation.
been too long, less than 20 years, so it's a little easier to pull something like that off then. But, it is nice to have some of the OGs, back
Yeah,
from the 80s coming back or still doing it. Like the lady that does the voice of Son Goku in
yeah,
Dragon Ball, she reprised the voice for him
yeah,
on the Japanese side.
yeah.
It is a lot of fun to have that continuity when you can.
Hmm. Mm. It's a horrible story. What's a horrible story? Are you talking about the
Yeah, the dude in Arizona, that's horrible.
oh,
And
okay, yeah, I see this.
I can venture a guess as to the whys, the whats, and the hows, but that's a topic for another day,
Yeah,
another type of stream.
yeah, yeah. No, I was wondering what you were saying, but then yeah, I saw that one too. Um, but yeah, that's I think I saw someone do like I think you were saying a give and go and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean the world is not safe. So you better learn how to defend yourself while you're able to. Um, yeah, because I think to a certain level, we as just human beings, we get used to a certain level of comfort, thinking it won't happen to me, right? You know, you see a hurricane in another state,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh, it's sad that it's happened, but thank goodness it didn't happen to me, that sort of thing. But uh, you know, people people can't forget that bad things are always around the corner. I mean, you don't want to live your life as a paranoia person, but I think that having the ability to defend yourself or know how to defend yourself is a whole lot better than believing that you'll never get mugged or you'll never get sideswiped or that sort of stuff. Some of the stuff that's on a smaller end, like you get in a car accident, stuff like that, it will happen one way or another. Like, you're not you if you live in this world, you're not excused from any bad thing happening. Bad things happen to good people all the time, and good things happen to bad people all the time. So it's just you're gonna grow up in the world where you're just gonna have to learn some things. Viva bring it up in stream today, and you couldn't even get through the story. I don't doubt that. I
Yeah,
don't doubt that.
that's horrid. That's bad.
Yeah. But I digress in that part. On the movie faction, the old ones I did see for animated movie was the two Dragon Ball ones. The what was it? Battle of the Gods, and then there was Resurrection F, and then I did see. I think I saw both Demon Slayer movies. The one about the Mugen Train, and then I think the one that had the oh, what was his name? He was his element was fire. He was more in tune with the fire. Uh,
Oh yeah, the oh see that's an interesting one because Demon Slayer started off as a standard regular-ish TV series.
mhm,
But the first season was it 26 episodes, I think.
yeah.
Anyways, it had a very long first season, but then they decided to cut down the length of the seasons and focus on the various story arcs. So the
Yeah.
Mugen Train was basically 7, 8 episodes. The Entertainment District, which was the next one,
Oh, that's
was
right.
like
Yep.
7 or 8 episodes. The
Mhm.
training arc was 7 to 8 episodes, and now the last part actually going up against the top guy, the dude that looks like Michael Jackson. That's basically going to be 3 movies, and they're going to milk that for all they can.
They did it. They did it with the AOT. You bet us your bottom dollar they'll do it with that one. Because the funniest thing with Demon Slayer is that it was already finished. It had been finished years back,
Yeah,
years
the
and years
manga's
back.
done, and
Yeah.
it's probably better to do something like this after the manga is completed
Yeah.
because there have been too many animes that start off so great, but
Yep.
because of the fact it's being made at the same time as the manga, they either have to wait or they get canceled or they go off into La La Land and do their own thing,
Yep.
like the original Hellsing.
Yep.
That the opener for that is fantastic. It's so
Mm,
good, but it was doing its own thing. It's
mhm.
the same with the Full Metal Alchemist, so
Yep.
they had to do Brotherhood,
Yep. Brotherhood. Yep.
and there are just too many others that have suffered that same fate. So
Mm,
it's better to try and catch up if there's enough material there,
mm.
versus just making it up on the fly.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because it's to sell a product, because that's what an anime is made for, is to sell the
Yeah,
physical copy.
well, yeah,
Um,
in Japan, the money's in the books. It's
yeah,
not in there's little to no money
in
in anime.
animation.
So you're right. It is designed to help push things. So some of the shows that don't get additional seasons, yeah, they get used to push the manga or the light novels and keep it going.
Mm,
And there are others that they are able to complete it, or they're patient enough.
yeah,
As example, I had made mention uh, the FIREBRAND Beyond Journey's End.
yeah,
So good.
mm,
28 episodes for the first season.
yeah.
That's only the first 6.5 volumes of the manga, and the
Wow.
manga is up to 13. And I think it's also been on hiatus for a little bit.
Mm,
But the second season that they're working on,
mm,
assuming that they do the same length, which I don't see why they wouldn't,
yeah,
that would put them through right to where the manga is now. And where
yeah,
it's at now is holy crap good. Oh, it's so good.
yeah. I seen some clips because they're YouTube. You can go find clips there. The animation style looked pretty well done. Sort of the same vein as what with Demon Slayer. They would just those fights would just be this majestic paint stroke of just however they were doing it over there. But yeah, like it was stated earlier, the money's in the books and the
Yeah.
animes. As far as I understand, the animes are done by committee. A committee brings it up to the money and all that stuff to get these animations done. Um,
Typically, yes.
yeah, that's far as I understood it. But I mean, there have been some. It feels like there have been some exceptions. One has been Mushaku Tensei, which which is an old one, very old one. But it took I think it was like a combination of two studios to create one studio, and now they're going through all the stuff with that. Um, but yeah, there's just a lot of they I don't know if they'll ever come for another redo of Healer, but they they
Keep hearing rumblings and grumblings of a second season. That one needs it, but man, you got to be pretty much in the you have to be in the right frame of mind to do
yes.
that.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is that Rui-san, who created that, and he created some other ones too. There was one about a maze, but it was just the most well liked kind of topic, and I did it for money basically. At least it's what I remember seeing from one of the interviews or something like that. But I mean, he's also done another one too, which is the I think. Hold on, once again. Here we are. The other one they did that was his was this one, World's Finest Assassin.
Ah, yes.
That one's that one has its own bit to it too. But that's another one of his where that got made to anime. Of course, that one has had inklings too of like, oh, there's gonna be a second season. Like you never know with this stuff. But
True.
um, but I mean, you do have things like for me, one of the ones that I enjoyed, but is kind of maybe off-putting to some was Food Wars. Um, yeah, you know,
Food's so good.
it
Like the old song says, tequila makes her clothes fall off. Well, food takes it a step further.
blows it off is what it does. But if you buy the manga though, they do put the recipes in there. At least as far as I heard of what is in to make the meal like the gotcha pork and all this stuff. Um, but I mean the last season was kind of iffy because I believe the story was is that the lady who they had as a consultant, the chef, she just had a kid, and so she wasn't there to consult for the last season because she consulted for the manga as well. And another funny tidbit here, and I think I said this yesterday too, is that the person who does the art, uh, what do they call that? Illustrator, I think is what they call the person who does the illustrations for Food Wars. Used to do R18 content, as far as I remember looking up. So yeah.
That's a pretty common theme. You'll get a few mangakas that sink their teeth into the eroge stuff, and
Hmm.
and they either stick with it or they come out of it or they switch between it. And, there's a whole crap ton of voice actors that rotate in and out of the eroge genre of animated fare.
I just say R18 content because that's what they put on their little warning
Yes.
label is R18. But no, the funniest thing is that you say that is Nagatoro, right? Nagatoro or the creator of Nagatoro, Nanashi, or 774. It's a weird name. 774 Nanashi, whatever. He actually used to do he, he actually used to do R18 content, and it was pre Nagatoro. He does the same facial feature, all that stuff. But when
Mhm.
he came to Nagatoro, that seemed, at least the stories I heard, was that it seemed to be less for him, and then focusing on Nagatoro because that was his hit, basically, as far as I understand it. But I mean, there's at least one story I know that he could possibly do, because there are. It's funny enough. It does seem like there are some R18 mangas that are becoming serialized and turning into serialized mangas,
Mhm.
which is sort of that weird thing, but it kind of does work. Um, there is what is it? There's one. Hold on, I got the manga for this one. Not that one. This one. So there is a manga. Um, it is done by a lady. Now, obviously, the mangaka who does this one, uh, she is also a VTuber and has created the model looking, a design looking of Rhine from Hollow Live. So there's that.
Ah.
But if you've ever heard her, so this is the elder sister like one by Ida Pochi or Pochi-san. And again, she is a VTuber, so you can go on YouTube right now and look her up, and you will see her model. Actually, you know what? I'll show because that way you have a clear picture of what I'm going. But Ida Pochi, there we go. I found her. Um, but I don't want to play any stuff because you get that whole stinking copyright thing. But anyway, this is her. This is Ida Pochi, and it's
Well,
funny
you
thing.
can mute it.
Well, I'll just show you
There we
her
go.
page.
Okay.
I'll just show you her page. But this is Ida.
Itapuchi.
Yep, Ida Pochi. She's the creator of that manga. Again, this is a serialization of an R18 uh, Arrow manga, so be warned. But this is her. I mean, she does a whole bunch of. I mean, she's got to be making bang for a buck, being as she is. But I mean, she gaming. She's done singing. She's created the model of Ryan, who's in the Hololive group, and it's just fascinating that she's doing all this. But at the end of the day, this is probably, and then I think there's another mangaka who's doing YouTube as well, and that's Bochi, the one who created Doctor Stone. If you ever heard of that one.
Yeah, I've seen the first episode of Doctor Stone. It's definitely on my list of ones to try and watch, but I just haven't had the time to get back to it.
Let's see. I swear, nope, that's Bucci. I gotta look up. I swear, I think I might be getting it wrong, or the name of it wrong. Nope, nope. Why does it always give me that? Or is it Bushi? I think I am. Yep, there we go. Yep, never mind. I can't remember the name of the person who's doing it. But regardless, um, there's that one. There was another one I've seen. It's very interesting that they are reaching into the R18 side to serialize, and they kind of tone down. Obviously, they kind of tone down the content within, but they still hit upon that etchy part of things. And for those who don't know, it's very it's not spicy. It's like medium.
Fan service is
Yeah.
customer service, and even if things are covered, it still gets
Yeah.
it still pushes the YouTube button to the
Oh,
point of not wanting to have it shown.
hey, Comic Zed. No, the one that is pretty good to as an example is High School DxD. That
Oh yes.
the on its own with the Japanese sub sure, it's more the imagery, but when you bring the English dub, and that's that's been rife with stuff. Man, they push it.
Yeah.
They push it. I have when I first heard of High School DxD, I was like, okay, what is it about? And I went to see it and watched whatever on the site that once used to exist. Um, but and then kept watching, like, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, wait a second. You have Ken Akamatsu, who does do that sort of thing, but he takes away the bits that make the difference. High School DxD doesn't.
Yeah, the High School DxD came out at just the right time. It's one of those. I would have said it couldn't be made anymore, but there's a lot of them that have been pushing the etchy button
Envelope.
again,
Yeah.
and doing the gatekeeping from the moron tourists who decided to hop on board right during the time of the coup and then say, "Oh, you can't make that. That's nasty. That's not good. No,
Yeah.
we don't like what you're doing. Change it to make it fit for us." They can all go do stuff to themselves in
Jump
multiple
a
ways
shark.
in multiple places,
Yeah.
all at the same time,
Hey,
up
I
up their ass.
you can you could shake me all you want, but at least they didn't do any redo of healer on you. That would have been worse. That would have been worse. I didn't even show you any of the pages on the inside. Okay, all right. I didn't even take you to show you anything of the. Well, actually, you know what? I did look up on search for the food war stuff to try to get him to understand, like, if they eat the good food, it just explodes their clothes off. And there's at least one image where it doesn't show very much anything, but you kind of get the idea. There is some impliedness there, and I was like, yeah, if the food's good, your clothes just poof right off.
Yeah, it's foodgasmically delicious.
Oh gosh, I think the one part is, though, is when I don't know how far you've seen into it, but at the beginning, at the first episode, right? Yukihara and Soma and his dad have a sort of their own food war, right? At their kitchen. Very true, say sure. That's correct. Yes, very true. And don't go looking that stuff up, Comics Dad. I'm saving you right now. Do not look up Rito of Healer. It's all you need to know.
Well, hold on there. Here's what I'll say about Redo. It is damn good. However, if you don't want the
extra stuff
uncensored version, go to High Dive. They have a tamer version of it.
censored.
Pretty much. Definitely whatever you do. Oh crap. Now I can't remember who actually did it. If you look for the uncensored, you'll find the uncensored. I can't remember there's a specific term for it, a specific group that shows it, and I can't remember what it was, but
Mhm.
Redo of Healer is good. If you want a fascinating tale of revenge, and when he dishes it, yeah. Let's just say revenge never felt so good, but also so empty. But
Oh
for him,
yeah.
it's so good.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like trying to watch a train. It's like trying to watch a car crash, and you just stuck there to watch, and you just like, he did that. And I got taught. I mean, when it came out, the anime came out, it did get talked about for a while, but it's just yeah, and the door locked because, yeah, I even for Food
No
Wars,
kids around.
yes, even for Food Wars, I'd be a little hesitant because
Yeah, don't show that to. Yeah, yeah. Certain things you can do with certain people, but definitely not either of those with impressionable minds
yeah,
around.
I've seen some wholesome ones as well, but it's not all about that. You got Studio. Well, Princess Mononoke is not very wholesome. It's very bloody and gory and all that stuff. So I don't like that one. But the other ones, sure. unlike the other Ghibli ones. But anyway, it is the top of the hour. And so what happens is that I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves, because I know some content creators that kind of do like the beginning or the end or sporadic throughout. I do it at the top of the hour because it's sort of like a timekeeper thing. So I did put your, oops, give it 1 second. I did put your links down below on both ends. But if you would like to, as the kids say, sell yourself, sir, not like that, the floor is yours.
Well, if it makes anybody feel any better, I have sold myself for truffle shuffles.
Oh.
Yeah, well, when the cash starts flowing, the super chats start rolling, needing something to entice everybody, I put it out there one time. Yeah, somebody send me $100 super chat. I'll do a truffle shuffle on screen. And unfortunately, I've got to, I've got to, I like to say I've got a beach body. I'm built, shaped like a ball, but I've still got the beach body for the beach ball. Anyways, I did a truffle shuffle. It was quite hilarious. It was so bad. Then
Yeah.
people paid me to put my shirt back on. But that's another story for another time. But for me, I, of course, am the anime guy. I have channels here on Rumble, which I think I had to change the Rumble one a little bit to make it work. But let me double check here.
The one I have, if you click on it, it will take you straight to your channel, so it should
Yes.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon the Anime Guy here on Rumble. All of my lives, all of my panel shows or shows that I don't do gaming on, they get broadcast both to YouTube and to Rumble, and then they live forever on Rumble because YouTube is asshole. They don't like to have fun, so I have to put all those either behind member monikers or remove them completely. But all of my shorts or clips that I do, they all go to YouTube, and when I do decide to game, I typically game on my main channel on YouTube, mostly anime related or made in Japan games.
Yeah.
I do want to start trying to do stuff on Twitch. I just haven't yet. I do have a Twitch channel, or Twitch TV at Twitch, and I also have a Kick channel. And my goal in life is to play eroge games on Kick and see how long it takes before they actually ban me.
Ooh, man, you are spicing it up. We'll get past that point. I'll mention what I was going to say after, but anyway, go. But yes, his links are down below. All the links I could find that were I basically had to go to your YouTube channel to find all the links you had because it wasn't on it's on your X. So, but again, he's on multiple platforms. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you give him a look, and if he's worth the follow, why not? I mean, so far he seems like one of the smart ones. So you never know.
Yeah,
And
we have a lot of fun.
yeah, you and of course, with Clifton doing your show on Saturday as well. We
Yes.
already have had Clifton on, and he's a pretty great dude. So two great dudes doing a Saturday show. It seems like a blast. So, but yes, links for him down below. Give him a look. Like I said, if he's worth it, why not? But for my end of things, whether you're on the hold on, let me make sure that's right. Whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, because I do stream to both places, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated, because not only does it help in being seen more, it also helps in having other people on, like the Anime Guy, like Clifton, like Comics Dad, and like so many others. Again, I've had on over 190 different guests, and it's not about numbers. It's not about the amount of followers, whatever. It's about trying to reach across the table and just have conversations about whatever. And you've already seen an hour of that, so that's what I'm trying to do. I don't care if you're a content creator or not. I don't care if you don't want to show your face. What matters is, are you willing to take up the opportunity to just have a conversation? And that's what it's all about. So any help with the engagement factor, any dang it. It was one after another. It's like a parrot. You're trying to teach it. No, I'm not calling you a parrot. I apologize. But it's just like, right, Polly Cracker. I told you that 10 minutes ago. Will you leave me alone? But yes, any help with the engagement factor on either end is much appreciated. Of course, I do have a link down below. I got my Twitter X in it. I've got my email in it. I've got thing to like Discord DMing. I don't have a server. There's only so much mental bandwidth I have. But any help with the engagement and link down below. I appreciate you all for that. And of course, we'll bring these up as well. Thank you, Neuro, for posting those in the chat. I appreciate you tremendously. Because I so the funny thing is I don't know. Well, do you use like StreamYard or Restream? What do you use for your streams?
I've been let's see. I've been using StreamYard for forever. So
Mhm.
for any panel shows, that's what I use. It's got all my clips and stuff loaded. But for gaming, it's either Streamlabs desktop or OBS. I've used both. They're both very powerful, and you can do a ton with them. But you got to take the time to set them up, and that can be a
Yeah.
drag. It's a lot easier just to plug and play and go. But
Yeah.
trying to stream a game through StreamYards, it's not very good.
Yeah. Oh, that, and you have to pay for it too, depending on.
Yeah, but it's it's funny. When they made their most recent change where they dropped their $25 one and changed their top or their prosumer is what I call it. They
Mm,
dropped it by 5. I had been paying 50 because I prefer the nicer high def quality, the
mm,
1080p versus the 720. So
mm,
for me, it dropped it by $5. For everybody else, that was just being uh, cheapo. Yeah, it
mm,
raised their rates through the roof, and it's one of those things. And I understand if a person doesn't want to keep using it because you can't afford it or you don't
yeah.
want to. That's everybody has their choice, but I always try to go for the higher quality when I
Mm.
can.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Obviously, especially with gaming, because that's
Yeah.
been one of many concerns for the uh, Rumble Studio thing. But no, I was gonna say because of course I use Rumble Studio, but I also use Brave for my browser. And a while back, they actually put in where you can now split your screen so that you can have two of different things on in the same screen. So I'm basically having my Rumble Studios on one side and my Rumble stream on the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what they can do if they put the time into it. And
Mhm.
yeah, these type of things you pretty much have to have them for panel shows because trying to run everything through OBS and using either Video Ninja or something else, it just doesn't. It's
Yeah,
too complex and it's just too big of a pain in the ass to do.
yeah. When you have to
So
do more, when you have to do more work for what should seem like less, then the product may not be for you to use. And I'm not saying people don't use OBS because a ton of people who are very technical aspect, I know a few, will use OBS because you can do so much here and there and set things here and there. I
yeah,
don't. I'm not.
you
I'm
gotta
just
have the wherewithal and the will to goof with it. If you
yeah.
don't like goofing with it, then it's like, nah, it's not worth it.
I would probably hurt myself just trying. Um, but but no, I've used what's worked, at least for me, despite the ups and downs. Um, because it's free for me, but it's funny when you look out there, there are a lot of I mean, there are other things I pay for. Don't get me wrong. Like do the Rumble Premium. I pay for just regular premium on Twitter X. That's like the $8 one,
Yep.
not the $50 one that everyone else is complaining about. Because I couldn't do that. Um, I only need longer. I only need longer posts, right? Like I only need to be able to do longer posts, not the whole writing articles and stuff. Like, what kind of article I'm gonna write? What joy is down the road? I don't know.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. If we can afford it, great. If not,
Yeah.
it's okay free, but it's just not that good as free. Where the $8 one's okay, but
Mhm.
you really need to be using it to really get the most out of it. And
Yeah.
I have found that the more time I spend on X, the more I tell people to go f themselves. So so I have to balance it out a bit because
Yeah.
it's all fun and dandy. It is fun to tell morons to go f themselves, but
Mhm.
do I want to be known for that or do I want to be known for talking anime more? So yeah, it's balancing act.
But you could be Brandon the anime FU guy.
Yes, the go fund yourself guy. Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh, you want to talk about this? Well, you know what? F you.
Oh, trust me, I've done that, and I can get rather spicy. As my one friend of the channel says, yes, I can become a very spicy vampire. So
Mm, yep,
so
I
yeah, I
can.
do have to be careful. Or, well, I've also had my main channel, my main X account. It's been struck down entirely twice, and I got it back twice.
Mm,
And I've had two 7-day suspensions
uh,
for some of the most innocuous things. I've said way worse like an hour before, but then I get popped for the most insane, base thing.
yeah,
Wasn't even swearing at anybody,
yeah.
but yeah, you got X can be touchy at times.
Sounds like another platform that's very similar on the manner of being very touchy with it.
Yeah, Twitch is just touchy. They like the touch. They like the metas until they don't like the metas
Well, why do you think it's called Twitch?
because they're twitchy.
Yeah. That's like the perfect name to give them. They're called Twitch because they're twitchy.
Hmm.
Well, and that's another thing too, is like you have with YouTube, right? You have a lot of content creators who change their way of saying things because of, oh, if I say this thing, I'll get demonetized, and then YouTube won't look at favor me the more. It's like, then that's where you take the time to work up on being other platforms. And that's another thing too for me, for other content creators. Like if you're adding another platform to your ordeal, promote it, right? Like I get maybe you have some issues with the platform, whatever, but it's like I'm also here too, because it's like that extra account some people have on Twitter X, right? If they don't promote it, people won't know about it until it's too late. And I'm not going to go up against anyone. You do you. Content creation is your thing. But if you have on multiple platforms and you're not willing to, not you, but if they're not willing to at least promote those stuff all together in some form instead of the one thing that they get the most views on or the most pay or whatever, then if you get hit by that platform's obfuscates rules or what's the word? Obfuscate
Obfuscation. Yeah.
obfuscated rules, whatever. Thank you. Sometimes my words lack me. Uh, but but then I can't I can't help not feel sorry for you because you have so many options now. All content creators, other than maybe technical stuff, right? Because if you don't have the best computer or best laptop, then you'll be kind of constricted in what you could do. But beyond that scope, all content creators have so many tools that to not to be at least on more than one platform feels like the worst joke ever told at a comedy bar or whatever they call that.
Yeah, a comedy club. Yeah, you're
Comedy
right.
club. That's right. Oh my
There
gosh.
really is no excuse for not having multiple places, at least more than one.
Yes. And promoting them all the same. Like yes, I promote Rumble and then I promote YouTube, but I promote them on the same line. I've
Yeah,
seen some content creators who only promote their main place of choice and then they never talk about the other place where they're at. And I'm just like, didn't you get hit not too long ago by this certain platform's
yeah.
rules?
Didn't you learn your lesson? Seriously, we just cleaned up this mess, and there you go, making more of a mess again. Yeah, in this day and age, it makes no sense to stick to only one.
Yeah.
Spread out as much as you can,
Yeah.
but not to the
Mentally.
point of
Yeah.
complete exhaustion.
Oh
So,
gosh,
absolutely.
no. Burnout is a true thing, and of course we have examples of burnout, but I think again that kind of goes back to do what you can with what you can and just have fun doing it, because content creation, look, it's an ocean. You're swimming in an ocean of people, of millions of people probably doing the same sort of thing in a slightly different way, and you're trying to get out there to have people watch you and listen to you or whatever. Of course the world has billions, but my point is that there's an ocean of people on many different platforms doing some of similar thing, and you're just trying to get yourself out there. The competition is stiff, um, and it can be menacing, it can be all those things, but at the end of the day, if you at least enjoy the process, the thing you do, all those things just kind of slip away, because at the end of the day, it's about YouTube, right? YouTube, when it first started out, there was no money involved whatsoever. It was just a place everyone could upload a video to have it watched, right? You have you have my what AF, America's Funniest Home Videos type
Yeah,
videos and all that stuff.
yeah, it's amazing how YouTube has changed over the years, and at this point, for better or worse, they're trying to be cable TV. That's what they're pushing more and more.
Mm,
You know, at least when it goes to authoritative news sites.
mm,
Yeah, they're pushing the faux news, the clown news networks, the PMS DNC.
mm.
I'm just going to say this. I'll say this once. This is the only time I'm going to get political about any of this stuff.
Go for it.
If you get your news from any of the lame ass dying old dinosaur media outlets, other than for mocking and ridicule,
Mm.
you might be the idiot.
You should be like that, Bill Engvall. Here's your sign.
There's your sign. There's your sign, dumbass.
Oh
in,
my
in all
goodness.
seriousness, yeah, there really is no reason to pay any mind to any of them. We all, even if you happen to agree with them,
Mhm.
why would you waste your time watching them when there's somebody a lot more spicy that you can watch on YouTube or on Rumble or on Minds or any of these other places? There's always someone younger. There's always someone that's edgier and someone that's
Yeah.
much more fun to deal with than the people that literally have to be have their clown makeup put on in
Yeah.
order to look like a human.
You know what? I think that's the best way to self promote yourself right there. Make sure you write that down. Write that down.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But
Yeah. And that's understandable. Like for me, I just let it go where it go. If it goes down that
yeah,
way, it's just part of the ordeal. But I do know some people are not very on the political thing. I'm not either. I don't give a rat's behind, because it really doesn't solve much to what.
it's a part
Yeah.
of it's a time suck and part of it's a soul drain.
Yeah.
And there are times and places and people that do better with that.
Mhm,
That you see, that's the thing. That was the thing that really got me into YouTube and the whole content creation thing to begin with.
mhm,
After 2020, I was not in a very good place, and I dropped almost every single content creator that I had watched dealing with politics, and I started to gravitate a little more towards the people that were doing pop culture ish type
mm,
stuff. And when you think back 4 or 5 years ago, pop culture was in a very bad spot. We were getting just lambasted with crap and the woke and
mhm,
the bow down and kiss our ass. And if you don't have the right melatonin, the right genitalia, or hell, if you try to get your genitalia changed, if you
mhm.
don't do any of that, you have no future. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that a lot of that's changing, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I was able to play just a little bit
Mm,
of a part in doing something different and helping people that want good entertainment, don't
mhm,
want to deal with a lot of the bull, and just
mhm.
have fun. And that's I've had fun doing it, and I plan on doing it for as long as I'm able to, and as long as it doesn't uh, as long as I don't start having a ton of pizza deliveries start showing up all of a sudden, then I know then we've got a problem.
Uh, You saying I got a free cheese pizza? Ah, this is my luckiest day.
Yeah. No,
I, I
there's
saw the news. Yeah, yeah, I saw those news bits. I was just like, you'd probably be like, not you, but there'd be someone who's probably like the not the smartest person in the world. It's like this is like the best day ever. It's like free pizza is just amazing, and
Yeah.
it's just like I got like 3 cheese pizzas out of this. This is a
Well,
miracle.
it makes me wonder how much longer these places that do allow for cash on delivery for a product
Mhm.
like that will
Yep.
keep doing that, because that's the one thing that they all do. COD, always COD.
Yep.
So cool, Frog. Good to see you. Great to have
Yeah.
everybody here. For all of you who've been lurking, it's good to have you here. And if you haven't, slap that like button. You know you want to slap the like button. It will not slap you back. You
Hug it
know you
first.
want to share the stream,
Yeah.
because sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Love the stream. But then again, the the stream will love you, but not in that way.
this 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 isn't what's the one uh anime that came out? It was something hides her feelings behind Russian or something like that.
Aaliyah hides her feelings in Russian. That was fun. That was funny. It's getting a second season, and I can't wait for it. And
N- yeah,
it's unique because
yeah.
both the English voice actress and the Japanese voice actress are fluent in English and or Japanese and or Russian.
Ooh, nice.
So if you do watch that, if you watch it in Japanese, it is the Japanese voice actress speaks fluent Russian. If you watch it in English, she speaks fluent Russian.
What?
Yeah, it made it very unique, and it worked. Although watch it in Japanese. What do okay, this is the age-old question. Sub or dub? You have to go subtitling because current modern dubbing is terrible.
It's some of it, so not all of it is bad.
Pretty
Now,
close.
it's pretty close, but not again. I haven't seen. Uh, I need new nothing. I haven't seen much of new because I can't really watch it per se. But I mean, the when I was talking about High School DxD, I mean they just went. It worked, right? Like I don't know if it was exact what was being said to so and so, but because of the context of the situations within, it worked. And all the names you could, all the names you could come up with, all the names you could come up with just talking about a woman's bosom. That was yeah, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I don't think it's all bad. I do think they do try, but I also think that because of the whole localization thing and whatever, that kind
Yeah,
of lends
that's a problem
itself
too.
to the English side being the again, Funimation, Crunchyroll, not all are bad people, but it does seem they tend to lean
It
towards that way.
permeates a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'll never forgive them for what they did to Vic.
yeah,
That annoys me to death. So
yeah, and the people who well, and again, the people who were part of the issue got away with whatever. So
yep,
the
pretty much.
industry's now. I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Japanese industry isn't free from that either, but we just don't hear about it because I don't speak Japanese. I speak a little bit, but that's far pale in comparison. So, but anyway, we're gonna start heading out because my guest needs to get going. I will thank him for the time, however, because it was nice having you on. Obviously, you're always welcome to
Yeah,
come back
absolutely.
because I do appreciate your time and all that stuff. Because again, I do try to bring people back who've been on, and hopefully we'll have a little more time. But before we go, there are a few things. One of we've already done our marking promoting stuff. So again, all our links are down below. So give a check out, all that stuff. And again, like you said, like and share because sharing is caring, right? I mean, that's the
Yes,
important part of it.
sharing is caring.
Sharing is
Like the stream, share the stream, love the stream.
there you go.
Just
Just
don't cross the streams.
just yeah, don't especially when you're on a camping trip and you're not and it's the dark and you aren't seeing where you're looking.
Yeah,
That's
don't cross the streams.
that's the wrong kind of crossing stream. Oh, I should be
Yeah.
wary of that though. But anyway, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be having on Third Ralify. Of course, I've been on his show with Chris or My Morning Mayhem. So I got to be on there. So he'll be coming on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. So Make sure you see that. Really, really cool dude. A Canadian. So, yeah, come tell him how bad Canada is if you want. But regardless, he'll be on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, the last thing I do with my guest is something I call questions from hat. So I bought a hat from Rumble. I
Ooh,
put some questions in it. So what
go
happens
for it.
is, is that you, my guest, get 2 freebie questions. Now, obviously, unfortunately, YouTube, I am not monetized, so you're gonna have to sit this one out. But on Rumble, I am monetized. So if the people on Rumble, and of course, we probably not for this one because he has got to get going. But usually, it's if people want to get another one out, they have to pay a Rumble rent for it. So
I see.
one to 500, it doesn't matter the amount. What matters is you have to give another Rumble rant to get another one out. So I'm gonna pull one out. And I don't look in the hat. I'm feeling like it's one of those things where they tell you to put your hand in. They say it's worms, but it's really just
Well, if they say put your hand in a popcorn bucket, say no.
yeah. That is true. That is true. You learn that real quick if you do it the first time, and that's by accident. Um,
Yeah.
but the first question is, what's a childhood memory that still makes you smile?
Ooh, childhood memory that still makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in that age bracket
Mm,
where if you got a game system for Christmas, it was a big friggin' deal. I still remember when we got our NES back in '88.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be it. The NES that we had, it was the triple pack. It had Super Mario Brothers with the 2 controllers, Duck
Nice.
Hunt with the Zapper,
Yeah.
and World Class Track Meet with the Power Pad.
Ooh, see, I had a
Yeah.
cousin who had kept an old nest, the first one at our grandparents' house, and it had the Duck Hunt one and the first Mario one.
The
So
Super
the
Mario Brothers, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, those things were still expensive back in the day, and
Yeah, they
yeah,
were.
yeah,
But yeah, that was back at the time when you could go to the video store, rent a movie, rent a
hmm
game,
yeah.
have a friend over for the night, and end up watching RoboCop at age 7 when you shouldn't have.
Ugh, ugh.
No, I'm not messed up at all. No, it was good for me.
I didn't see that guy get torn to shreds by bullets. No, of course not. Yeah.
But
But
yeah, that's a good one. And of course, that because I do remember when we first saw RoboCop. I had one of my neighbor friends.
mm,
th- They also had almost everybody had an NES, and I remember certain games that we had, certain games that he had. His
mm,
older stepbrother would play certain games. His folks, his stepdad and mom would play. They
mm,
would actually play Legend of Zelda. That was fun watching them play that.
yeah, yeah. First Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's always nice. And yeah, that's one of those questions because people are like, "Oh, I gotta remember back then, because you do kind of yeah.
yeah. I love the '80s. As I said, I remember that very
Mm.
well. I love the '80s.
Well, here's another one for you. That's also to do with childhood. it's
All
uh
right.
It's what's a simple pleasure from your childhood that still holds up today?
Ooh. I would have to say, in a lot of respects, playing video games. I still do it,
Yeah,
although it's not in the same vein. It's
right.
not Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I haven't played a Nintendo game in a very long time, although I should, because a lot of the old games back then, they may be simple by today's standards, but man, they were tough. They were a challenge and they were fun. They
Oh
didn't
God.
hold any pretenses. They didn't try to hold your hand. They
Mm-mm.
didn't try to tell you, the white man is bad, or say, go love go love things you don't want to love. They just existed. They
Mm,
were fun. Some of them were terrible and sucked,
mm,
but a lot of them were just the basics of them are still what hold up today, and are
mm.
even still a lot of the foundations for what we have today.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, when you can play Red Dead Redemption and someone there says, "You're the worst man ever," it's like, all right, here we go. I guess
yep.
that's the one. But yeah, I remember Sega. Oh, good lord! I never finished a Sega game. Because it didn't have a save. You couldn't save. So if you couldn't save, you had to start all.
Yeah, some of them was that way. Sonic
Ugh.
was that way.
Oh goodness!
Streets of Rage,
Mm, 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 mm.
Golden Axe.
Oh goodness! I remember and we'll get off this. Beauty and the Beast was a game on Sega
Oh
Genesis.
yeah, the Disney games though. Oh,
I I
they're tough.
never got past the first level because there's always this one berry up there called the night berry or nightshade berry, and I couldn't see it. And so there's this hog running below it, and so you have to jump over the hog so you wouldn't get hurt. But hit that almost every stinking time. I was like, you know what? I've got other games to play.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them were very hard, and some of them were special.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, again, thank you all for being here. Of course, again, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, with the awesome Third Valify, aka Sean. Again, I want to thank all those in chat who came to watch. And of course, thank the Brandon, the anime guy, for coming on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for reaching out and for the
Yeah.
invite. It was a lot of fun. It was a good conversation. And I always like talking to new people, so I definitely appreciate it. And
Yeah.
thank you.
And I'll look forward to trying to do it again with you because I do try to bring people I've had on before because it never ends with one conversation. That's how that works. But anyway, I end the show. Oh, I gotta get there first. Okay, there we go. I end the show with One Day With You by Pogo. Again, guys, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Again, all our links are down below. Don't forget to check those out. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Peace.
Okay, here we go.
All you have to do is knock. All you have to do is knock.
Okay, here we go.